How to make offers when you're buying a business. In this video, I'm going to give you a real life example of what I did over the last few days when making an offer. Now, full disclosure, this offer has not been accepted yet. However, I've made multiple offers in the past on businesses and successfully completed those business purchases with the same methodology. So what I'm going to give you now is an example which we're going through at this present moment of making an offer and where we are right now with that stage and what could be if the offer is accepted, and if the offer isn't accepted, then what you might want to do. To be perfectly honest, I'm not going to give you all of the secrets because I'm making a course. I'm making a course about how to buy businesses. So the secrets will be in there. Watch out for that space. Right. So there was a business which was, now it's a little bit a different situation where deals are coming to me. This deal particular came to me. However, this particular deal, I know for a fact that it has been on the market before. This deal, I've seen it on the market before in a different way. So you will, number one, you've identified your industry of what you're going for, or if you're already a business owner, you're already in your industry, so you know what your business targets are going to be. Number two, what you need to do is that if it's with a broker, you need to make contact with the broker. And number two, if it's directly with the seller, then you need to make contact with the seller. So how do you do? I'm going to explain the broker one. Contacting the seller, there's a little bit more skill involved if you're a complete beginner. And again, I've got a course that will be coming out on buying businesses. You need to purchase that if you want to know those secrets. So you contact the broker, and either they're going to be one of two types of brokers. They're either going to ask you for proof of funds, or they're going to ask you what you're interested in the business is, and they're going to give you the details. So they're not going to ask for proof of funds, but they're going to ask you what your interest is in that business. So they're still trying to sieve out time wasters. They're trying to cut out time wasters at this stage because, of course, there's a lot of people who are tire kickers. So if they ask you for proof of funds, the way to go about of that is you just say that I have investors or I have finance available. If you show me the numbers, then I will see whether this is something I'm interested in and we can pursue. That's simple. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything else. That's like, for example, if you go to the car showroom and you want to buy a car, and you say to the car salesperson, this particular car over here, I want to take it for a test drive. They're not going to turn around and say, show me your bank balance. They're going to say, come and sit down and take a test drive. At this stage, you're making your very first inquiry, so therefore they have no reason to be asking you for your proof of funds. A proof of funds is a way that brokers use to, again, cut out time wasters, to cut out the tire kickers. But if you're smart, what you'll say that I have finance available. If this business meets my requirements, then we can take it to the next stage. That's all you got to say. 9 times out of 10, they will give you the details of the business. They might not give you all of the details of the business, but they'll give you some details of the business in which you'll be able to make a decision whether it's of substance to you or not. Now, if it's with the seller directly, then of course you need to identify, is it a business so you have a conversation with them immediately. There's a number of things that you have to ask them. Again, that will be in the course when I end up launching it. It's in development right now. Now you have to come to the making offer part. Now there's a whole section that needs to go. There's a whole process that needs to go to making offers. You don't want to make blind offers. You have to make offers which make sense to you. There's so many considerations that you have to take to think about before you can make an offer, but this video is not about that. You always want to make a low ball offer. You always want to make a low ball offer because up until this point, a business valuation has been determined. Whether it's been determined by them or whether it's been determined by us, a baseline business valuation has been determined. So what you want to do when that baseline valuation has been determined, then you want to go in a quarter, half, whatever it may be. It needs to be an embarrassing offer. If it's not an embarrassing offer, then you haven't done your job properly as a buyer. Because business purchase price Unless it's on the stock market. If it's a public market business, then that's different. But we're talking about private businesses. So there is no 100% rule of fixed valuation for a business. So you're always going to go in for a really embarrassing offer, so much so that you want the person on the other side to fall off their chair when they hear the offer. That's how embarrassing it needs to be. So with this particular business, a baseline valuation, the one that I'm going through right now, a baseline valuation was set at 102,000. I don't know why it was 102, not 100,000. So this business is basically going for 2 times multiple. It's only making £50,000 profit. But when you've got something which is 2 times multiple, that becomes attractive. And even more than that, what happened is that their finances, meaning their numbers, their accounts are all over the place, right? So we determine the business valuation by looking at the bank statements, by looking at the sales reports, by looking at all of their costs, meaning the staffing costs, rent, and so on and so on. So we looked at all of that and we came up with this. Okay, this is making £50,000 profit a year. Now, if you go and buy a business which is making £50,000 profit a year for £100,000, that's a decent investment. Why? Because within 2 years you've got all of your money back, and then you're making 100% profit from year 3 onwards, and that's just a good deal. So with this guy, what we did is that we looked at his numbers and we said, look, if we take this to an investor, if we take this to a financer, a lender, whoever it may be, then they're going to look at these numbers and they're going to say, this business doesn't make any sense. So we can't give you any money for investment, or we can't lend you any money, whichever the situation may be. Yes, because the numbers don't make sense on paper. Again, us as the buyers, we have determined that it does make sense, and we can convince an investor, or we can convince a lender that these are the numbers, because we've got the bank statements don't lie, VAT statements don't lie, the tax returns, they can lie, but generally they don't lie, and the costs as they come out of the bank account and the wages and so on, the PAYE, that does not lie. Yes, so therefore we can show that to the investors, we can show that to lenders, we can say this is what the business does. But the seller doesn't know that. The seller does not know that. Remember, 99% of the people that you're ever going to be dealing with when it comes down to buying their business are going to be people who have no idea about the business sales or business buying process. They have one business, they have never exited before. If by chance, so in all of my time that I have been buying businesses, I have only come across maximum 3 people who have sold a business previously. I think it's 2. I've said 3 just to cover myself. I believe it's 2. There's 2 people that are popping to mind. One guy, he's worth £46 million. So he's sold. He's done 2 exits. So he's made his money like that. And another was a woman who had sold one business previously. So the guy who's worth £46 million, no competition. The guy knows what he's talking about. But this woman who's only sold one business previously, I would still count her as being clueless. Yes, she has some idea, but still count as being clueless. So when you come up with your argument to offer what you're going to offer to these sellers, don't think that they know what they're talking about, because they don't. And if you think that the broker knows what they're talking about, the broker doesn't even know what they're talking about. I'm telling you, brokers are incompetent. I have only come across 2, maybe 3 brokers. In fact, let me count about this. I have come across 2 brokers who know what they're talking about, definitely 100%, and 1 broker who had some idea of what he's talking about. All of the rest of them are incompetent. They have no real world business experience. They don't have they're just working a job. They don't know. They've gone through some cookie cutter training in, this is what turnover is, this is what gross profit is, this is what EBITDA is, this is what net profit is. They don't understand what it is, really. They have, because if you talk to them, people are, oh, we need to speak to the director, or we need to speak to the valuation team. Right? Enough time slagging of brokers. Coming back to the offer. So this guy, business is making 100 is valued at £102,000, making £50,000 of profit. We said to him, no one is going to give us money based on this business. In this industry, no one is buying. This is the evidence. We presented evidence to them that between my last acquisition, I'm talking about my actual last acquisition, till now, I have looked at 7 businesses which on face value meet my criteria. We've done some very, very simple due diligence, literally 2 hours worth of due diligence, not even that, 1 hour worth of due diligence, and we determined that they're not worth our time. So once the top line, yes, it meets our criteria, but anything below that, it doesn't meet our criteria. So 7 businesses we've rejected from our previous acquisition till now. And that's in the period of coming up to 4 months now. And coming up to 3 months now, coming up to 3 months. So though all of those businesses are still up for sale. And in fact, all of the businesses that we looked at prior to those, all of those are still up for sale. And I don't even know how many of those are. They're probably in the hundreds, right? The businesses that we've rejected. So you're not going to be able to sell your business because no one else is buying. We're the only people are buying. Really, there's only 2 other people in the whole country that are buying in our industry. And one of them are far down south, and the other one is a private equity group looking at a very large size of business. And they're looking in a particular geographical area. Actually, they fall into the geographical area, but the size, they don't meet it. They're looking for businesses in the millions before they can even consider it. Of course, it's private equity. So I said, you're not going to be able to sell your business. So the only way that I'm going to buy your business is if you finance 100% of the deal. I will give you 102,000, but you're going to finance 100% of the deal. That means a no money down deal. You know, one of my videos, a possible no money down deal, this is it. They have now picked up the phone and they said, we're interested in having a conversation. Now, when you've got conversations about no money down deals, you want to have those conversations. Because even if it's a non-starter or if something that you don't want to go through, you need to ensure that you go through all of the opportunities. Let me tell you, I had another no money down deal three weeks ago, and I rejected it. People will think I'm crazy. In fact, if you're a beginner, you're probably thinking I'm absolutely mad. I had a confirmed no money down deal. Confirmed. The guys were willing to do it 100%. It was a running business. I said no to it. Why? Because, of course, now I've got enough experience to see that this particular business could turn into a distressed business within 3 months. It could turn into a distressed business within 3 months. So I don't want the headache, and I said no to it. And no, they were willing to sign on the dotted line. They were willing to hand over the business when I said hand over the business. Made the offer, accepted on a no money down deal. Anyway, so you want to entertain the conversations, because with this one, if it turns out that it's worth taking over, then I've just made the offer of 100% no money down deal. Now, how do you make offers on profitable businesses? How do you make offers on businesses which are not distressed? What kind of offers are there? Of course, that's not for the scope of this video, but the course that I'm generating or developing, then you guys need to watch out for that and enroll on there. Then you get to know all of the steps. There's 10 basic things that you need to do to ensure that you're able to buy a business. People say there are fewer steps. There are only really 2 main important things: making offers, three main things: finding sellers, making offers, getting finance, whether that's from the seller themselves or from an investor from outside. So they're the 3 main things. Otherwise, there are 10 other steps that you need to go through to actually complete the deal and to make sure it's running. Don't forget, on this channel, I will tell you about not only how to buy a business, but how to run them as well. And how to run them well. Many people, they teach about only how to buy a business, but they don't have no idea on how to run the thing. I'm in the trenches, I'm doing it right now. So guys, that's how you make an offer. That's what we're currently going through right now. Of course, as I get updates on that particular deal, I'll definitely make videos and we can talk about them on the video so you can see a real life case study.